Have you heard of Alex Hormozy? He says, don't discount too deeply. You're already positioning yourself as a weak customer or a weak business. He says, go ahead and put it high. And so let your discounts be rare and just do 10% across the board, but be a stickler on being a niche. And then that way you can make the most amount of money on it.
How can I manage discounts, referrals, neighborhoods, repeat customers without being dishonest or losing money?
Yeah. So with that question comes, I'm a skeptical person. So when I see I got flyers in the mail and I call them and it was like, this isn't even like related. I don't know how this is like fake information, So it's like when I go to a store and I'm like 20% off, like I feel like, and maybe, I don't know how you guys feel, but I'm like, they just marked up the price and then put a tag on it, So I'm like, I don't want to be like 20% off, but I want to come across as, 20% off. Yeah.
And so have you heard of Alex Hormozy? He's got a book out called $100 Million Leads. He's also got a book out, $100 Million Offers. And he says, don't discount too deeply. You're already positioning yourself as a weak customer or a weak business. He says, go ahead and put it high. And so let your discounts be rare and just do 10% across the board, but be a stickler on being a niche. And then that way you can make the most amount of money on it. I don't know a ton of mole removal companies, and there's sure not a ton doing door-to-door sales and educating HOAs. And so I would encourage you.
Hopefully they're not watching.
Yeah. But you know what? They got to do what you're willing to do.
Yeah.
And
I have no problem doing that. I really don't. It doesn't bother me to go. I mean, I'm just not that type of person.
Yeah. Then just stick at it and say, hey, this is our price and we only offer this deal through this flyer or through this season, and just stick to it.
It's easier to remember it too. Like, hey, I got a coupon. I know it's 10%.
Yeah. Stay there.
I know what you're talking about though. You go into Hobby Lobby, everything's like 60% off. Yeah. You're like, pfft.
But it's the same price as everywhere else you go. It's like, wait a second.
Right.
Like they lured me in here and, I don't want to be like that.
Yeah, there is a part of like justifying the purchase through a discount. And that is huge. I would say one real honest way is if you're doing referrals, if you're doing neighborhood or repeat customers, you do not have to pay for that call. And so that is a very honest way of saying, hey, if it's a referral, what is your average cost of acquisition? If you're paying for $50 to get someone to call you and to turn them into a customer, you don't have to pay that $50 anymore, and you can transfer that savings to the customer. And it doesn't change how much money you're going to make. One thing that we have worked on is creating an ambassador program where you can have someone in a neighborhood represent you and your business inside of their private community page. And basically you can turn one job into 10, that's 15, cool. 20. Yeah. And so
it goes back to the trust thing,
it does. And you can give them the 15% off because it's not costing you anything to get them to call.
Right.
So that's a very honest way of doing it. But we have actually someone commenting on Facebook. His name is Trey.
Let's go, Trey.
He says, how can we enjoy a day off? My brain is always stressing on how to get better or more business. And so it's a good question.
So I'll answer that.
Okay.
I have so many hobbies that I'm extremely passionate about that I have no problem taking a day off, but that's just me. I'm very, there's a lot going on in the country and people are, super stressed out and there's a lot of anxiety. And my answer to that, I'm not a doctor, but is more people need hobbies that they're passionate about. So like running, biking, mine is fishing. I could fish every day.
Yeah, a lot of people don't even know what they like to do.
Like I am obsessed with those things.
And if you're trying to grow a business, you convince yourself that business is what you love to do.
And you don't want to get,
is my hobby.
And you don't want to get burnt out. Like if if you're having trouble relaxing, you have to find some way to relax, just so you don't get burnt out.
Trey, I love your question. It makes me want to find out a little bit more about Trey's mindset, and really if it's a silly question or super serious, But this goes down to your mission. Like for me, I've shared this story in 2012. I felt like God had left me, and I felt abandoned, and it went back to like childhood stuff. So I lost my faith, and also I felt like, my life would be over and ending my life. It was a dark time. And from there, I ended up writing out a mission statement to finish this life, a godly man, husband, and father. And I can break down that entire thing into a book. But it comes out of that is what does it mean to be a godly man, husband, and father? And this gets into faith, family, fitness, and finances, or business for finances. My why, and so Trey, if you're listening, is to make sure you have a strong why for what you do each day. And that when you look at your faith, you look at your family, you look at your fitness, you look at your finances or business, that you're given your best to your faith and family. But, man, that's, I would say for me, okay, faith is at the base, because what is it if I gain the whole world, grow a big business, make a lot of money, and my family don't want to be around me? I have a heart attack, heart disease, cancer, diabetes by the time I'm 50. My dad died of colon cancer when I was 41. And so a strong why will help you determine what I need to be thinking about at this moment. And I break my day into quadrants, and I don't answer phone calls about business during certain times of the day, because faith, fitness, and family get the first part of my first 3.5 hours every day. Now, not everybody gets to do that, but you can work towards that. And when you start a business,
even if it's 15 minutes,
if it's 15 minutes, do it. But when you're starting a business, there is this thing called season of sacrifice, where you may have to give up your fitness during a time of starting something up. You may have to give up your boating. You may have to give up, I don't want to say it, but there's times you have to give up fishing.
Absolutely.
And when you're starting something, you have to be willing to sacrifice almost everything in order to accomplish that thing, so you can end up having the time that you desire in the future to put those quadrants in proper perspective. But I share the same theology as you do, Sean. I want to make an impact with my life for as long as I'm here. I'm not trying to dip out. I'm not trying to grow and then be gone. I want to grow and grow and grow and grow. And when I use the word grow, I mean serve. Lead somewhere, make an impact, make a difference somewhere.
It's so good.
Yeah, and it's completely normal to be stressful, and especially if you're starting out a business or you're having money problems. I mean, that's completely normal to just have lose sleep, have it take over your, how am I gonna pay for this, how am I gonna pay for this, how am I gonna do that? And it just goes back to everything we're talking about, that you have to do something every day to make money, or try to make money, or get money to come in. And I think it's probably normal. I'm older, and I'm sort of I'm not financially stable, but I have enough, I have some money aside, a couple months mortgage is paid for, whatever. And so my goal with this business is to grow it and enjoy more freedom, and not necessarily more work. So, I don't want to work 9 to 5 and have 2 days off a week. I want to, have some flexibility. So that's kind of why a lot of people have started their own business.
Yeah, and you can get there, and you can get there if you're willing to do what other people don't do. There's you have to give up to go up. One thing I would share with you in regards to an idea of succeeding is that you've got to fail more often in order to succeed more often. And so there's an idea that if something is failing, or if something's not working, then we should give up. But in reality, successful business, successful people, successful marriages, they all have failures, and failures means you continue to try. It's ultimately what happens after the failure. So like our company, we have got more failures than probably we really have wins. Like we can highlight some of the wins, but I can be grumpy and go through all of these different areas that we've failed people, we failed projects, we failed timelines, we failed invoicing, collecting, like job descriptions, training. Like we fail all the time. But it doesn't mean we're not going to get up and keep pursuing. And it's really getting up and not quitting will build success.
And I think it's like that with everything. You're looking for, have an idea, you try it, you don't like it, you try something else, you try it. And it's like buying a pair of pants. Like, this is what I want. You buy them, you buy 3 or 4 pairs, and you're like, I don't like these, I don't like this, I don't like that. You finally buy that pair that's like, this is comfortable, the waistband fits good, I like the pockets.
That's so good.
So it's like that with everything.
I've only got 2 pairs of pants that I love, and I wear them like 7
me
days a
too.
week.
and you wear your underwear underneath them.
I don't wear underwear. No, I mean,
What? Join us live every Monday at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time for more content on how to grow and lead your business.